I'm News4 Jax's Chief Meteorologist David Heckard. You may have heard by now that the water in the Florida Keys and the Florida Straits is getting not just warm, but exceptionally warm. And earlier this week, a buoy measured a water temperature of over 100 degrees. That would be the warmest water temperature in recorded history. So a lot of scientists are deep diving onto this, and what they're concluding is, while that number is preliminary, it probably will not end up being the final number, and we probably have not broken the all-time world record. So let's go a little bit more in depth here on this, where the area that we're talking about is in far northern sections of the Florida Keys. In fact, between the mainland there and the Keys themselves. This is an area called Manatee Bay. You probably have passed close by it because it's very close to where the overseas highway goes across, or US 1. And this region right here, Manatee Bay, there was a buoy that measured a temperature of 101.1 degrees earlier this week. That would break the all-time record that was set in the middle of a bay, or middle of a region there in Kuwait earlier in the 21st century. So this is going to be a big, big number, but there's some reason to kind of have some issues with this number. A lot of it has to do with the geography of where Manatee Bay is located. So normally when we talk about accurate measurements of water temperatures, we like areas that have free-flowing water. There can be some circulations. Here's Manatee Bay, and you can see there is nothing close to a circulation at all in this area whatsoever. In fact, it's kind of blockaded by the mainland off towards the north. There's a lot of mangrove trees and almost little like beaches that kind of surround Manatee Bay. And another region is out here in the US 1 corridor. That's where they're dealing with the overseas highway, which also naturally kind of dams up the area. So while we believe that there was a temperature possibly over 100 degrees, does it get all the way to the world record number above 101? That's becoming very, very questionable. In fact, doing a little bit of deep diving here, researchers have found that that may not be the hottest temperature of all time. It may have gotten even hotter back in 2017, and the buoy only measures about 5 feet inland. Water temperatures are notoriously difficult to kind of what we call quality control, because every buoy and every pier measures these water temperatures at different heights. The other issue is what we call organic matter. This region of the Florida Keys is very well known for what we call high organic material. Think algae, think a lot of seagrasses. That darker matter has a tendency to kind of absorb the heat and possibly push the water temperatures a little bit higher. Now, all that being said, it's still really hot down in the Florida Keys. In fact, Marathon has had 10 straight days of record highs. They said it's about the middle of the Keys, and including a 99-degree temperature on the 25th. That ties the all-time record. Many areas along the Florida Keys have had a brutal summer, and it looks like this heat spell with the marine water is not going away anytime soon. We're probably going to be talking about temperatures hanging out in the mid to upper 90s, water temperatures possibly flirting with 100 through at least the next several weeks. We'll begin to cool things down a little bit heading into the fall, but we got a long way to go until we get there. So bottom line, it's definitely incredibly warm down in the Florida Keys, but we may not have gotten all the way to the record, world record, out in Manatee Bay. I'm Assistant Chief Meteorologist David Heckard for Channel 4, the local station.